Good. Okay, so this will be video that gets you started on part writing. And what I'm going to do is explore some basic theories of Heinrich Schenker, Austrian theorist, who I know Ben Johnson talks a lot about in his Theory 3 and 4 class. And what Heinrich Schenker did, this is the end of the 19th century into the earliest 20th century, was looking at how melody relates to harmony. And his basic theory is that melody generates harmony, which is a little controversial. And that all Western music exhibits certain sort of harmonic patterns. And when you apply Schenkerian analysis to music, what you're looking for are specific patterns. And that's where some of the controversy lies, because you sort of start with a supposition that you are going to find a certain thing, and you go about the process of finding it. And some people feel it's a little bit of a round peg, square hole type of thing. But he came up with some pretty interesting observations about Western music that I use as the basis for learning part writing. Okay. So what I'm going to start with is a simple little melody, and I'm just writing the pitch. I'm just giving dots for the pitches. I'm not trying to put the rhythm in. And you're welcome to see if you can figure out what the melody is.
I read the textbook. It's very Heather Lamb.
Yes, it is. Okay, so we'll go over that. Hopefully this will reiterate. This may already make sense, but then we'll take it to the next level in terms of part writing. Okay, so we have Mary Had a Love Lamb. It's a pretty stupid melody, but what it does do is exhibit Schenkerian concepts almost better than any melody. So it's a really good melody to start with in introducing Schenker. The first thing to recognize about Western melody is that almost without exception it ends on what scale degree? A melody in our culture.
Tonic.
Yeah, on the tonic pitch. And so Schenker assumes that that's the melodic goal of our melody. And there are a few melodies that don't actually end on tonic. One of the few that I can think of is the first Noel. I think I mentioned that in the book.
Yeah.
And that always feels a little incomplete to me. You know what I mean? The end is a little strange. Because you're actually ending on scale degree 3. Born as the king of Israel, 3-1, here's tonic. So kind of, I always felt like it felt a little incomplete.
Yeah.
And the answer is that you're not ending on tonic, as we would expect most melodies to do. So that would be one of the rare exceptions, but most melodies do it on tonic.
Sure.
Schenker discovers, though, and this is at the heart of his theory, that melodies tend to actually emphasize a different scale degree at the beginning, however. And Mary Helen Lamb shows that if we take just that opening phrase, and I'm going to sing on scale degree numbers, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, it's pretty clear that scale degree 3, right, is the important pitch here at the beginning. And this is where Schenker gets a little controversial, because what he asserts is that nearly all melodies exhibit some sort of emphasis of scale degree 3 at the beginning. And that's something to kind of listen for. And there are exceptions,
Sure.
but as a general rule, scale degree 3 receives the emphasis at the beginning, and we certainly see that through the first phrase here. Once we define scale degree 3 as sort of the important pitch here, we can even begin to look at the rest of the structure. We go from 3 down to scale degree 1, right, and then from 1 back up to 3. Scale degree 2 is easy to describe. It simply would be what? How would we describe scale degree 2?
Passing tone?
Yeah, it's just a passing tone, right? And this is what Schenkerian analysis does. It begins to sort of reduce out the pitches of a melody, identifying which one is most important, and then describing these others as secondary to that. Scale degree 1, why would we go on from scale degree 3 down to scale degree 1? I mean, what's the significance?
It's a common tone in the...
Yeah, in the tonic triad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what Schenkerian analysis is also, or Schenker is also asserting, is that melody outlines the very harmonic progression, right? That would sort of be the natural harmonization of that melody. And of course, a lot of times we like to sort of reharmonize, use some jazz harmonies, rethink the harmonization. But I think he's onto a strong point, that melody itself implies sort of the basic harmonization. And if we jazz it up, that's fine, but we're still
clues. It gives you the clues.
Yeah, yeah, and there's still a sense of what the melody is asserting. Okay, so that's the basics of Schenkerian analysis. Now, if scale degree 3 is receiving emphasis at the beginning, and scale degree 1 is our ultimate goal, then there is sort of this overall melodic shape, right?
Going down.
To melody, going downward, which means along the way, what other scale degree obviously would receive some sort of emphasis if we're on through 2. And in fact, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, right? Here's a prominent moment where we feel that somehow there has been sort of a shift in the overall sort of placement of the melody. And if you're a guitarist or strumming chords, right? Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Now it's time for a chord change, right? And that's again what Schenker's asserting, that sort of shift in the overall shape of the melody determines the chord change. Okay? After we have 2, 2, 2, then we sort of go, there's a shift back to 3.
Yep.
3, 5, 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3. In fact, this is just like we saw before, the passing tones, right? This is sort of a repeat of what happened at the beginning. And then we have this little 3 to 5, but again, what's the significance of leaping from 3 up to 5?
Still with it.
It's still part of the tonic triad.
So why would 3 be the emphasis there and not 5?
Well, I think, again, some of this is sort of forcing and that question does come up. It's a very good question. Here's what I would say. We have 3, 5, 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3. That we leap up to 5 and then we go down to 1, but then we kind of recenter
Back to 3.
on 3. But again, this sort of problem that you're identifying here in Mary Had Little Lamb is pretty easy to explain away because there's so much emphasis of 3 here.
Sure.
Where Schenkerian analysis gets controversial is that even if it hadn't quite centered so well, you still would assert 3 is the pitch.
Okay.
Almost because you're sort of looking for a particular sort of structure. And that is where Schenkerian analysis gets controversial. But I think the other thing to think about is this concept of compound melody, that the basic shift is from 3 to 2 to 3, and then we leap up higher in the tonic triad, but that's almost at a different sort of level pitch-wise, if that makes sense. Okay. But why 3 to 5? Why not 3 to 6 or 3 to 7? I mean, what's significant about that is the leap to 5. And then Schenker uses, or of course he was in German, but in English we use consonant skip. And this could also be described as a filled-in consonant skip, so to speak.
So when you're going from common to common tone to another common tone within the chord, that's your consonant skip.
Yeah, consonant skip within members of that triad. Yeah. Okay. And then so we have a lot of 3, 5, 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. Lots of 3 sort of through here, and then right at the end, 2, 2, 3, 2.
Yep.
Right. This is back to emphasizing 2, and the E here is simply neighbor tone. Yeah, easy to explain away. Okay, so the concept of non-chord tones, right? Concept of consonant skips within specific triads, right? Being emphasized. I'm checking time here. We're good. Against consonant skips within triads implicit in the harmonization of the melody, and of course the final chord at the end is also the tonic triad. The other thing to consider then is what is the harmony that naturally goes where scale degree 2 is emphasized.
Your 5.
The 5, yeah. And so what we sort of learn is that while melody has sort of a basic shape, harmony, the bass line has a basic shape as well, which is 1, 5, 1, 5, 1. Okay? And that's sort of what this first lecture is about, is this concept that melody has a basic shape. One of the most common basic shapes is this 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, which Mary Had Little Lamb exhibits. And where the melody shifts, right, along what I sort of call the backbone of the melody, then we get our 1, 5, 1, 5, 1 shifts. And so if I play that, here's the melody. Okay, and I'll stop there. So that's the basics, and then we'll do the next lecture, which begins to fill in the other voices.